did you meet?
How did we meet?
Well, we met at a camp for adults in New Hampshire, and it was very distant from our home. Certainly, Marv was living in Brooklyn and I was living in Queens, New York. But my good friend insisted that we would take all the transportation necessary, which was a train and a bus and 4 hours worth to get to New Hampshire, because that's where all the better men would be.
You mean you wanted to get away from the Brooklyn, New York boys?
Right.
Well, I don't know how come we ended up there, but it was quite a trip. And we didn't want to be near the Borscht circuit. I guess we felt superior to that sort of thing.
Right. The Borscht circuit being the lower Catskills at that time.
Oh, I can answer that. I was with a friend, Charlotte was with a friend, and you know how two guys and two girls get together and they couple off. And what I realized when my friend picked her and I was stuck with Charlotte's friend, I realized it was Charlotte I would have rather stayed with. So I guess that was
First,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's the first impression that counts.
Right. Well, I found myself listening to the conversations that Marv and my friend Norma were having, and listening with great interest and finding myself very interested in that young man.
So, how did you pop the question? When did you ask each other? Or Marvin, I guess you would have to ask Charlotte, right?
How did I pop it? Yeah, I sort of edged into it sideways. And actually, she didn't let me finish.
It was not a good time for Marv particularly. I realized that Cooper Union, which is where he returned to school after World War II, really did him in. And so he was not very happy. He was going to be transferring to another college. It was not a good time. And so I was concerned because I didn't want to say no, but neither did I think that it was a good idea. So I wanted him to wait. And I did a lot of thinking in the meantime, really a lot of thinking, because I figured there was no way he was going to support me, right?
That's true. We're very present. Yeah. And that's the way it happened. I never did support her properly.
No, that's not true. But the fact of the matter is that in that time and place, which was really the latter part of the 1940s, there were certain traditional roles, actions. There was no such thing as, well, why don't we try out by living together? That was out of the question. It just didn't exist. So I thought about it and realized that because I was teaching, it was my first year of teaching, that somehow we would manage to eat and it would be all right, because I didn't care about money. I cared about the fact that I really loved Marv.
Good.
So you put me off and I waited and waited and waited, and 7 days later I did pop the question. That's as long as I was willing to wait.